Hey guys, and a very warm welcome back to What's for Tea, and I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Well, here's the fifth instalment of my wee festive food and drink ideas for you guys. You really can't go wrong with a Black Forest Gateaux or Black Forest cake. It's just one of those Christmassy things that's so popular, obviously this time of the year. It's a gorgeous combination of moist chocolate cake, cherries and cream. Delicious. I've listed the ingredients in the description bar down below if you want to give it a go yourself, but this is just what I've used. Also later on I've got a wee Hot Toddy recipe coming up, and also meals of the week later on tonight. Yep, so like I say, super delicious, and it was a bit of a challenge, this one, I must say. This is the first time I've actually made or attempted to make a Black Forest Gateaux, but the end result was absolutely fabulous. So this is what you're going to need if you want to use what I've used today. I started off with 2 tablespoons of Morello cherry jam, 4 tablespoons of icing or powdered sugar, 240 ml of whole milk, 500 grams of canned cherries and syrup, 1 pint of double, or you could use whipping cream, 265 grams of plain all-purpose flour, 65 grams of cocoa powder, 500 grams of caster sugar, 2 teaspoons of corn flour or cornstarch, 8 to 10 fresh cherries, that's just for decoration, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract or essence, some white and dark chocolate. I've just used that for some decoration at the end. I used 3 medium eggs, 120 ml of vegetable oil, and 1 teaspoon each of salt, baking powder and bicarbonate of soda. I also made up a quick and easy coffee icing just at the end, but if you want to make that, you'll need 1 teaspoon of coffee flavouring or 2 teaspoons of strong espresso coffee, 340 grams of sifted iced sugar, 150 grams of unsalted room temperature butter, and you just whisk those 3 things together or beat them together in a stand mix, and that's it. Super simple. Right, so let's move on and we'll see what we do next. So the first thing you're going to do, guys, is get your tins ready. Now I'm using non-stick tins, but if yours are, if they're not non-stick, you'll need to grease them with butter or cooking spray and line the bottom with some grease-proof baking paper. Now I just drew around these with a pencil, cut them out, and then that way they're the perfect size. These are 8-inch tins, or just over 8 inches. And preheat your oven to gas 4, 180°C or 350 Fahrenheit. Then you can move on and do your cherries. So pop your cherries into a pan. It's about 500 grams of canned cherries and half of the syrup. And you want to keep the other half for later. Put them onto a medium heat and bring them up to a gentle simmer. And while you're waiting, coming up to the simmer, you can add in your caster sugar. That's about 100 grams I used. And I used 2 tablespoons of cherry jam. And then, like I say, just bring that up to a gentle simmer. I used Morello cherry jam because I love the flavour of Morello cherries, but it's quite hard to find, so black cherry jam would be fine. Just give it a wee stir round, because this is going to thicken up, and go quite syrupy, so you don't want it catching on the bottom of your pan. And once it's simmering, you can pop in your cornstarch or corn flour. I've used 2 teaspoons. And just give everything a good stir around until it thickens. And once it's all mixed in, you just want to give this a simmer for 4 or 5 minutes, and then it's going to go really thick. Just like this. And you want to set this aside, to cool completely, because this is going to be going on your sponges once they're cooked. So just set that to the side to cool completely. You can forget about that just now. We're now going to move on and do the chocolate cake. So I'm using a stand mix, but you could just use a spoon or, an electric whisk if if you prefer. So pop your flour into the bowl. This is 260 grams of sifted plain flour. To that you want to add 400 grams of sifted caster sugar, sifted cocoa powder, and then the rest of your dry ingredients. I'm just going to give these a mix to make sure everything is properly combined. Again, you can just do this with a spoon if you prefer. This just makes it a lot quicker. So once it's had a minute, everything should be nicely combined. Now this isn't the bowl that comes with this mixer, guys. I'm just using a glass bowl to try and show you what's going on. So now you want to start adding your wet ingredients. So 3 medium eggs first. And then I popped in my vegetable oil, about 120 mils. And then 240 mils of whole milk. Then half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And again, just give everything a good whisk for 3 or 4 minutes. And it'll be looking like this. It actually looks a bit like chocolate pudding. So that's just what we're looking for. And just give everything a good stir again, just to make sure you've got nothing, no dry ingredients in the bottom of your bowl. That's lovely and silky. Now you want to get back to your pans. And like I say, if you don't have grease-proof pans, guys, make sure you grease these, give them a good grease with some butter or spray oil. But these are fine for me. They are non-stick. You just want to divide your mixture as well as you can between your 2 tins. You can weigh these if you like. I wasn't too fussed. But if you want to make sure they're perfectly even, you can weigh them, of course. Just give them a wee tap, just to make sure it's, nicely even in your pan. A wee shake round. You want to pop these into the middle of your oven. If they don't, if they don't both fit in your shelf, just put one under the other and swap them round halfway. Give them about half an hour. Now you're going to move on and do your cream while you're waiting on your cakes. So into a bowl, pop a pint of double or whipping cream. And your bowl should be nice and chilled as well, guys. Then you want to pop in your powdered sugar, about 4 tablespoons. And then another half teaspoon of vanilla extract. And give everything a good whisk until it's nice and thick. Again, you can use a hand whisk or you can use a stand whisk, it's up to you. This is just a wee hand blender I've got, and that's perfect. I don't know if any of you guys remember Dream topping. This is exactly the same as Dream topping, and that's just what you're looking for. You don't want it like concrete. You want it, spreadable, because this will be going onto your sponge layers. And you can just pop that in the fridge till later on, until you're ready for it. So my sponges are now ready. These took half an hour. You want to leave these in the tin for about 10 minutes and they're going to shrink back from the sides. Once they've had 10 minutes, turn them out completely to cool on a wire rack. So let these cool completely. Once they're cool, you can take off your greaseproof paper. Now there's a few things I would have done differently, guys, now that I've done this recipe, and this is one of them. I've used a skewer to poke holes into my sponge, and I'm going to be pouring on, the reserved syrup from the cherries to make them nice and moist, and then I cut them in half. but looking at it now, I'd have probably cut the layers in half first and then put the syrup on, because they're so moist and brittle. You know, it was a bit of a challenge to layer the cake up. I did get there in the end, you know, but in the future I would definitely do it the other way around. You'll see what I mean in a wee while. But it did result in a lovely moist cake. So this is just the cherry juice from the can of cherries from earlier. Remember I said keep half back and, you know, use half in your cherries. So this was the other half that we kept back. And like I say, it made a beautifully moist sponge cake. So now you're going to go and slice your cakes through the middle. You can use a cake leveler if you have one. I just use, you know, a large serrated knife. You're only going to use 3 of these layers, and the other one I crumbed, you know, because I'm going to use that for decorating the top. So that's my 3 layers, and my 4th layer, like I say, I just sort of broke up. And I'm going to be popping this on the top. I was actually going to pat this round the side of the cake, but I decided not to. So now all you have to do is assemble. So I've started off with the thickest layer of cake in the bottom, and this was the most robust. And then you want to pop on some of your whipped cream. Followed by the cherry syrup that you made earlier. Another layer of your cake. Now this is the most brittle layer, that's why I've put it in the middle. And then another layer of your cream. Just spread it out. Another layer of your cherry and syrup mixture from your saucepan. But like I say guys, this, you know, should be completely cool by now. And then your final layer of cake on top. Now I've chosen to do the domed side up, but you can flip it over and use the flat side if you like. I just done it this way because there were less crumbs on the domed side, so I've just brushed away any excess crumbs, and I'm going to be using a wee coffee icing on the top. I didn't want to use any more cream because there's loads of cream in there already, just to give it, you know, a different flavour. And I've popped the recipe for the coffee icing in the description box down below. It's super simple. And I've just popped the remaining cream into a piping bag. There's no nozzle on this, I just snipped the end off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 8 peaks on there, so you're going to get 8 slices out of this. That's how I sort of judge or portion it out. I pop some of those cake crumbs in the middle, followed by some white and dark chocolate shavings. And then I popped a fresh cherry in the middle of my wee cream puffs. And that was it. This was quite late on last night, guys, so what I'd done was I actually just popped it into the fridge till this morning, because I was afraid in case I cut into it with it being so moist and fragile that it was just going to fall apart. So I said what I'll do is I'll pop it into the fridge tonight and I'll cut it in the morning. So there we go. As you can see, the light is completely different. This is actually my partner's phone. I do all my filming on my phone, and I've just got an iPhone 6, but this is my partner's phone. I think this is an iPhone X, and look at the difference in quality. It's incredible. You can actually see the texture in the sponge now. So I just wanted to cut in to let you see what it's like inside. So it has firmed up a good bit, you know, which I'm delighted about, because I was worried about that in case it just fell apart, but no, it was fine. And this slice is actually going round to the mother-in-law this morning, so she can let me know what she thinks of it. And we're all going to have a bit this evening after tea. Whew! So that was it, guys. a wee bit more challenging than I'm used to. You know, like I say, it is the first time I've done one, but next time I do it, you know, there are a few things that I do differently, which will probably make it a wee bit easier with the separating of the sponges and, you know, the assembling of the sponges. But other than that, it was absolutely fine, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely delicious. Right, so thank you again, guys, for popping over and seeing what's going on. I've got a wee hot toddy recipe, like I say, coming up later on, and it's just a nice, light, festive whiskey drink. And I've also got meals of the week going up tonight as well for you guys. So hopefully I'll see you back then. So until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you then. Bye for now. Bye now.